Hi, I'm Stephanie Carroll, and I'm the owner of Accelerate Spreadsheet Solutions, and I help businesses accelerate their business. So today I wanted to go through a function called text join. I am still often in the camp, admittedly, that I use the ampersand to bring sections of data or cells of data together. If you're still using concatenate, stop that. That's an old function. I haven't used it in years. Ampersand, trust me, is a lot easier. But there is another function that I do use from time to time, depending on my needs, and it's called text join. And I probably, admittedly, should go to it all the time, but old habits die hard. So I want to show you how this would work. I'm going to start with a simple set of data. Let's just say we want to make filing labels or whatever out of this data that we have: first name, department, and role. You know, I might use the ampersand function to do that. And you would do that simply by, I'm going to select A2, and then I'm going to use the ampersand, and I want to put like a little hyphen with spaces around it in between each field. And we're going to add sales, and then again, we're going to do the ampersand, and then we're going to ampersand again and add manager. Now, when I put that in there, this is what that looks like. Now, the problem with the ampersand is that if I have a blank cell, you'll see here we have two hyphens with a blank in between them. Or in this case, Mike in marketing, it's ending with a hyphen. I can get around that with if statements if I wanted to, but there's a much easier way to do that. And that is with the text join function. So it's literally just text join. And then you want to specify the delimiter you want between them. So in this case, again, we're going to use the hyphen with a space around it. Now you can ignore or include empty cells, but I want to ignore them. And true is the default, so I don't really need to enter that. I just have to enter another comma. And then I have to identify the text that I want to pull together. And in this case, I'm just going to pull A2 to C2. When I hit the enter, it looks like this. Now, but watch what happens when I have blank cells. So Sarah, coordinator, there's no two hyphens. Mike, marketing, it's nice and clean. So I'll illustrate a few more applications for you just to give you some ideas how this can be used. Let's say I want to filter things. I find the text join is great for filtering things. Now, again, you could use the ampersand here because you may not care about a blank cell, but for argument's sake, I'm going to, put a text join in there with a comma and a space to separate it. Now, what I love about this is, let's just say I want to do a quick filter on anyone in Vancouver. I've pulled all those things together, so I'm just going to search Vancouver. And now I can see all the fields that involve Vancouver. But what if I want to look at just marketing? So there'll be some in Vancouver, but not all are in Vancouver. So it gives me a quick way to filter things. Another great application is for mailing lists. For example, I have a first and a last name followed by an email. Now, in this case, you can see I am using an if statement at the end so that if there is no email, it doesn't put anything in there. But if there is an email, it will put it in the angle brackets for you, nice and clean. And then another way you could use it is compiling notes. So in this example, I have a number of clients and there's various notes, whether these come from a website, different applications of software, whatever it may be. You can pull them all together. And in this case, I've used a vertical bar to make it kind of visually nice, but put all the text or all the notes into one cell per client. Now, finally, this is kind of the fun where it becomes fun for me is when you can combine it with other filters. So in this example here, I'm using text join and combining it with a unique and filter function. Now, if you don't know how unique and filter work, I do have a couple of videos. I think I have a couple of videos for unique, another one for filter that goes into detail. I think the latter video pulls the two together, exactly what I'm doing here. So I won't explain those, but you can check that out. But in this case, I want to make a list of all the products that are in a specific region. So what I've done here is I've defined a range name up here called region, and it is going to filter out any of my products that are found in the east. So let's just go down here. Pears are in the north, but let's just say if I change this to east, what will happen up top? You see apples, grapes, and pears flips, or sorry, that field adds pears to it. Again, this becomes dynamic because I can change this to north, south, west, and suddenly you can see how the list changes as the dollars change as well. So I hope you found that little tutorial helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. You can follow me either on LinkedIn or in YouTube, and hope to see you again for another tutorial. Have a wonderful day, and let's go accelerate your business.